Sorry. Mine's still not live yet.
I'm live on YouTube. Are we live on Facebook?
Not yet, but we're gonna. Now we are. We're gonna start that over again. All right. Good morning. Coming to you live from Axe Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay, with your hosts Matt and Jay.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. There's going to be a different song on every morning now because what I'm going to start doing is whenever I go to the bathroom in the mornings, I'm going to take a little short audio clip of the music playing in there.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. I mean, these are good musicians.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they are amazing.
Yes.
So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
Glad to have everybody on board with us today.
Yeah.
You know, being at the convention center or the conference center the other day makes me really appreciate the internet service that we have here.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, because the upload speed is not very fast at that other place. So the video was glitchy, but the audio was okay. It was good.
Yeah.
All right, so Jason B. Cobb joined.
Yes.
So far, that's all we got.
Well, here I am. I'm here. I made it.
So how you doing today, Jay? What's up?
Doing good. I didn't sleep much last night. The dogs, I think there's a skunk invading our neighborhood.
Oh, no.
So the dogs have been keeping me up for a week. Well, for years, actually, but more so for the last week.
Yeah. Those things stink.
What do? Skunks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a skunk around lately.
That's
Definitely
pretty
smelled it
skunky.
this morning. Last thing I need is my dog to get a hold of it.
What? That wouldn't be great?
Well, no, Matt, that wouldn't be.
That wouldn't be great?
No, that wouldn't be great.
No, that wouldn't be great. Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, someone left me a video. Happy birthday, Matt.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Oh. Thank you, Ada. Thank you, Rhonda Hartling. Two of my drivers from work.
Huh.
Usually by now there's like a whole, I've usually got about like 50 different ones so far.
For your birthday?
Yeah, generally.
At 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah,
8
yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
Last year I had like 50 at this time. I don't this time. I think this time I only have like 20. But, I mean, that's not the end of the world. It's really not.
No.
You know.
It's definitely not.
I'm a Facebook celebrity. You know, I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I'm not really. Celebrity. We'll be signing autographs one of these days.
No, probably not.
No?
Well, I think that's.
We should present Bibles to some of our listeners.
maybe I would not thinking about it, or maybe I would if I thought about it or saw it differently. But right now, I've been reading John 6, 7, and 8, which is all about
glorifying the Father and not ourselves.
Jesus was not here to testify of himself, or to glorify himself, or to bring glory to himself. It was all about bringing glory to the Father.
Yeah, and you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to get a cup of coffee.
Did you forget to get a cup of coffee?
And I also forgot my, what do you call them? My commercials.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get coffee, but I'm going to get my commercials, wherever they are.
Yeah, so I don't think that is at least right now,
Somebody took them.
I don't think it would be a good idea to do that. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
You know, I think the only time we'd sign an autograph is whenever we're presenting a Bible to somebody.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
Yeah.
presented to, from...
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
And I think that's a very good thing that we could do. We could start presenting Bibles to
maybe
people.
that only.
Yeah. I was being facetious, though, you know.
Yeah.
I really try to always remember that I'm here to glorify God and not myself.
That's a possibility. We all have weaknesses, and God is made strong in our weaknesses. The problem is when we don't repent. So
Thank you, Priscilla.
if we were to be prideful and to start signing autographs, and we were bringing glory to ourselves and preaching the gospel and doing things like this to bring attention to ourselves, which I see even in me is always a risk. So I always have to keep that at check and at bay and pray to the Lord and to remember to bring myself back out of it and to put the Lord forward in what I'm doing. Because otherwise pridefulness, it's the fall, that's the fall. The fall of Satan himself was pride. Now, the fall of man, we were talking about before the show. Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have mentioned that, but.
Well, it's too late now.
Pride. It's not so good.
No.
Well, and really, the devil's appeal to Eve was, you will be like him, is why he doesn't want you to eat this. And then also disbelief, because then she didn't believe what God had told her, that it wasn't for them, that they were forbidden to eat it, that it was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
That's
and it also was disobedience.
It was disobedience, and it was
so it was pride, disobedience.
It was a tragedy.
Yeah.
It was a tragedy. Sorry, I'm readjusting my thing here. Okay.
And then she brought it to the man, and man fell with her.
Yeah. So here, try this.
Yeah.
This tastes great.
Yeah.
He's probably like, wait a minute. Is that what I think it's from? Do you think he knew where it was from? He had to know where it was from.
I think he absolutely knew where it was from, or he wouldn't have fallen. I think it was probably an
unmistakable.
It was unmistakable. It was a distinguished fruit from a distinguished tree.
Yeah. That they've looked at numerous times and thought, man, I bet you that stuff tastes good. But they don't think about the tree of life, which I'm sure the fruit tasted amazing.
Signing it as in who gave it to the person. So if you were to give someone a Bible, you say this Bible was given to, and
yeah, there's a presentation page that says, hey, this Bible is presented to.
Priscilla Kemp asked the question.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Why would I sign a photograph? That would be definitely a prideful thing. That would definitely be a powerful indication that maybe we were doing this for our own glory.
Right.
And I don't want to do this for my own
We got to
glory.
be careful too, and the people that view us and listen to us need to be careful as well.
Yeah, you want to hear my glory? I'll tell it to you. Or you may want to cover your ears, though.
Yeah.
Because it's not pretty.
No. Like the Apostle Paul said, I'll boast about where I fail.
Yeah.
I'll boast in my weakness, not in my strengths. Talk about how, hey, I am not perfect. I screw up all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we got that squared away, Priscilla.
What did she say?
Well, she said, why would you sign a Bible? You didn't write it. So confused.
Good morning, Linda.
So I hope you didn't get super upset when I said that. But I was talking about, I think
it was Bill who passed away yesterday, right?
Yeah, Bill Weinhold.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're still praying for his family.
Yeah.
But he used to come to the freeway all the time.
Yep.
I know.
I noticed that he was missing, and I didn't even ask about where he was.
I saw him not this past Friday, but the Friday before, and he couldn't hardly walk. He was breathing. He couldn't hardly breathe. He had to stop like halfway to the door. And I was like, well, you should have just parked up here real close. You wouldn't have had to walk so far. Then I was kidding with him, and I said, I can give you a piggyback ride in there if you want. He's like, no, that'll be fine. I can walk. But I was worried about him.
I had no idea. No idea.
I guess he had stage 4 cancer. And it's probably, I don't know, probably lung cancer to be my guess. I'm not sure what kind of cancer
They
it was.
said what kind it was, and I can't remember what it means, what it does. It's bad.
Cancer is definitely bad.
Kills you.
I think that if you meet somebody whose life hasn't been touched by a cancer victim at all, then that's a very rare thing. So many people have cancer now. And more and more people get cancer every year, I believe. I mean, it's a condition of the fall. The wages of sin are death.
Yeah.
People ask, why does God allow people to get cancer? Well, God didn't give us cancer. there are people who aren't believers that get cancer too and die from cancer.
Yeah.
And, we feel upset because usually it's the people we love, we get upset about that.
I think it's folly to question God and His motive. Why he this or why he that.
Yeah.
I think it's folly, and it leads to an incredible sin. God is God. That's why, because He has the power to do it. Would I prefer that there was no tragedy in life and sorrow, sadness, sickness, pain? No, I don't think I would.
He doesn't cause any of that.
I think it's through sorrow, sickness, and pain and all that we are
Morning,
able
Steve.
to feel the opposite. Everything that doesn't have an opposite is melancholy.
Yeah. And melancholy is dangerous.
Yeah, so it would
I mean,
it would lead to something else. Yeah, and then there would be an extreme anyway, and it would all start over. So yeah, I can't question God.
No.
Who am I?
Who are we to question God? Were we there whenever He separated the sea from dry land?
Yeah.
The sky from the earth? Were we there for that? When He banished Leviathan to the deep?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm quoting.
Well, and like
Job.
How could pride bring me to boast about being here, and what
Thank you,
folly it
Steve.
would be to try to bring glory to myself here. Look, without God, I wouldn't be here. Where I would be is at home right now with 10 beers down.
Yeah. Right now at 8, 12, possibly more than 10.
And a whole lot more beer in my trunk.
I got to your house that one day, and it was, 11 o'clock? No, it was like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Probably.
And he said, hey, you want a beer? Yeah, sure. There's one in the trunk. And I went in there, and there were like 15 of them gone.
Yeah.
And I said, when did you open this? Just a
That's
little bit
where
ago.
I end up.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when I try to glorify myself.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing to glorify.
No.
The only thing we can glorify is Jesus in our hearts.
Yeah.
That's the only thing worth glorifying is Jesus and God in our hearts.
Well, being unforgiving, too, I think, is also glorifying yourself. When you think that somebody owes you something more than you're willing to give, when we resent and don't forgive, what happens? We end up being cruel and hateful, resentful.
Yeah.
And we take that out on other people. It becomes part of us in a way that it imposes and hurts other people.
Which is not good.
So who are we to not forgive?
Yeah.
When by not forgiving, we become the very thing that we don't forgive.
Well, it says, if you don't forgive, you
We
won't
condemn
be forgiven.
ourselves.
You won't be forgiven if you don't forgive.
Right, we condemn ourselves.
And I'm guilty of it too. I have animosity towards people that have hurt me. Still, and I try my best to get rid of it. And sometimes it just hangs around. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's like when people start telling me about stuff that's going on in my ex-wife's life. I really am not a fan of hearing that stuff because it just kind of reinforces my animosity towards her, if that makes any sense.
Yep, it does. I understand. And I understand very much. I was feeling that way yesterday. Mentioned it on the show, as a matter of fact, didn't I? Weren't we talking about that?
Probably. We talk about a lot of stuff that I don't remember.
Betrayal.
Betrayal. Yeah.
Talking about the woman who committed adultery.
Yes.
And the betrayal of that.
If you want to also read about it, read the book of Hosea. It talks a lot about how God feels in regards to our worshiping other things. Let me find. I'm sorry, I was looking for my Bible Gateway app here.
But Jesus did say, he said, he who's without sin cast the first stone. And where did it go? Let's see. It was way further down, towards the end of 6, I believe.
Yeah.
He said that he's faithful, that where he talks about that we are, when we live in sin, so when we don't repent, when we see our own sin and we don't repent and we don't make the amends necessary to keep that sin from reaching so far out into the world and corrupting so much of the world that it's beyond us. We can't do that. We can't repair it. When we realize we've sinned, we repent
True, Steve.
immediately. We turn around and we apologize. We make the amends, do what it takes to repair the damage so far as it can be.
Yeah.
And then he said, I wish I could just find it.
Steve says it's very hard to forgive and to truly forgive. And truly, I think he meant to say truly forget. Oh, yeah, I said forget. Sorry. Truly forget. Well, it actually doesn't say that we're supposed to forget. It says we're supposed to forgive in the Bible. It says that God chooses to forget. God casts our sins that we are forgiven for into the sea of forgetfulness, and he remembers it no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So God, and I, the more we try to forget something, the more you're going to remember it. That's a clinically proven fact. So like, let's say you gave me a number and you told me to forget it. The more I try to forget it, the more I remember it. It's weird, huh? How the body does that, how the brain does that.
Yes.
Dad's just joined us. Good morning, Father. Bruce Pearson, a.k.a. my pops. And that it's funny because Dad told me one time, don't call me Pops. And I really try not to. And but you know what? My Tanner calls me Pops all the time.
Yeah.
Or he'll send me a text message, hey, Pa.
Yeah, I've heard him say that.
Hey, Pa. And I'll say, hey, Saw. It's funny. So.
Yep.
Good morning. One thing that I want to, and this is really off subject.
Yeah.
Kombucha. Have you tried the kombucha yet, Jay?
I have not.
I need to bring some in.
Is that fermented
Yes. Fermented tea.
cabbage?
No, that's
Fermented
kimchi.
in the ground?
That's kimchi
Ah.
I'm thinking of. Kombucha is fermented tea, and it's...
I haven't tried it yet. Is it like kombucha? I mean,
It is exactly...
what's the one I said?
Kimchi.
Kimchi, is it like kimchi?
No, kimchi is a soup. You eat it hot, and it's a fermented cabbage soup that's usually spicy, and that's a Vietnamese dish. But kombucha is a probiotic beverage, and the best way I can describe it, like my son's mother makes it homemade, and it ferments, and it's a lot like beer. I mean, it ferments and everything and self-carbonates like beer does. Mm-hmm. There's no alcohol, and if there is, it's a very, very minute amount, like 0.05 or something like that. And it's like basically like carbonated vinegar type, like apple cider vinegar almost, but with like grape flavor. It's like, all right, the stuff I got tastes like grape flavored beer, but it's not alcoholic. It's so delicious. So if you haven't tried kombucha, try it today. You can get it at, I think you can get it at Walmart in the organic beverage section there by all the vegetables and stuff and the vegetable trays.
Yeah.
So they're not a sponsor, by the way, but that's a little healthy eating for everybody today.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to change the subject.
Sounds delicious. Oh, I know. I'm glad you did.
Priscilla says, I believe it is evil spirits that push people into doing bad things to someone. Like if someone is being mean, it is because an evil spirit is putting those thoughts, feelings into a person's head and keeps at that person until they act on it. I believe in some cases that's true, but I believe that there are also some people that are just mean. Because we're evil, not evil, but we're born in sin. Some people are just mean. But I do believe that some spiritual oppression can cause someone to be mean, because I know. I've been oppressed before.
See their work.
Yeah. I remember I told you I had that evil spirit on my shoulder throughout the day, and it wasn't very heavy at first.
I just think there's a big difference between self and evil spirits and the principalities and powers that would work against us. I think there's a big difference, and it should be clear. I think that anyone who lives in sin without repenting of their sin is a bondage to it. I don't think that's outside of us. I think
No.
that's our own sin nature inside of us, and whatever that would lead us to is our own fault. It's
Yeah.
not the demons. It's not
They can
the
whisper in your
principalities
ear,
and
though.
powers. It's our sin nature.
Right. Yeah, we can't push the blame off onto anybody else. That's why when someone says these
Yeah,
demons
and
did
that's
this
what I
to me,
think, yeah.
I'm kind of like, hey, don't give all the credit to the demons because
Now,
they don't have to try hard at all.
I think the demons' work would be when you
Thank you, Dad.
express a weakness or a need that you have, then these outside forces that are clearly coming from outside of you would then give you excess of either what it is that you want or need, you know what I mean? Or give
Yeah.
you something that's corrupted and not of God, that you would then fill that need with because of a lack of patience or trust in God or for whatever reason. You know, so when you express that you have a need openly, and then all of these outside forces come and these needs are these things are tempting you because they would fill that one need, but they would corrupt all the other needs.
Now,
Our
Priscilla
need-
says, so it is not really that person. This is before we started talking about it, really, because she sent this pretty much right afterwards. They don't realize they are being manipulated by evil. Then the little devil sits back and laughs that you are now hurt and struggling to forgive. And I think a lot of us. Now, I do believe in demonic oppression.
Yeah.
I believe that they do influence. They try their best to influence our thoughts. They whisper to us.
Yeah.
If you've accepted Christ into your heart, though, you cannot be possessed. If you truly have Christ in your life and have truly accepted Him, you cannot be possessed by a demon of any kind, because the person who's in the house is way stronger than the thief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as that, I believe that you can have chaotic spirits causing your brain and your mind to
I think
be
I would have
chaotic.
to study that before I would comment and nail myself down to a belief about it, because I remember somehow that it talks about, and it may be the wording that may be very particular and important, is that when
Morning, buddy
when
Billmore.
they are kicked out and then you return to it, it is, what is it? How many times?
She says
more
not possession, demonic
difficult to-
influence.
Right. The whispering in the ear. Yeah.
I do believe that the enemy does influence us. Not
Yeah.
all the time, but I
Oh, yeah.
don't believe they have to try very hard, because it's in our nature to do what we're doing. They just kind of give us a little nudge into the other lane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I know because I've felt it before, and it's just been a thing, just kind of, oh, today feels kind of different, but I'm happy anyways. But as the day went on, I went praising and worshiping God. I should not have felt angry for no reason, just frustrated and just, Ugh. But when I started singing praise and worship songs on the way home,
Yeah.
it started to go away. Then the moment I walked into the door of Dad's house, it went away completely.
Yeah.
Like they're not even allowed in the house there.
Right.
But I'm with you. We can't blame all of our faults on demons,
Can't blame any of them.
because I mean they basically are just.
We have a God who's more powerful.
Yeah.
We don't choose to run into the strong tower when we should, because we're weak.
And what's really important is we need to knock down those towers of stronghold that the enemy has in our lives.
Yeah.
The enemy stronghold, like smoking, that's an enemy stronghold. That's a stronghold, you know, and we all have those.
Yeah.
Whether it be smoking, drinking, chewing, lustful thoughts. You have to tear those strongholds down, because the enemy had such a grip on you in that stronghold. You have to completely tear that down. Otherwise, the enemy's going to try and use that stronghold against you. And if you relent at all, boom, he's got that stronghold again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She said, Paul said, we do not war against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. That does say that. Marcia Holland joined us. Good morning, Marcia. Happy anniversary officially today. Scott tried to say it was yesterday, and it was actually today. I remember because they got married on my birthday, and I sang at their wedding. So that's pretty unforgettable.
Yeah.
I don't know what that weird face I just made at you was, but I went.
Yeah, they went to Memphis.
Did they? Did you guys go to Memphis?
Yep. They sent all kinds of pictures. I guess they went to Graceland because there was pictures of.
Did you call information? They give you Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, I won't call him the king, but of Elvis Presley. And then they it looked like there was one. I guess they bought. I hope they did. You know, it's a nice memorable piece of memorabilia.
Yeah. Yeah, Elvis Presley was a really good entertainer.
Yeah, when I was young, I used to listen to him.
Was he alive when you were young?
Oh yeah.
When did he die?
I can't remember. Let me think. It must have been somewhere around the mid-70s.
They called him the king of rock and roll. Right?
I want to say the mid-70s.
She said they are still there. And thank you for the birthday. Davin Roberts says happy birthday. That's awesome. I enjoy the birthday wishes. It's not I actually honestly forgot it was my birthday until somebody sent me a message saying happy birthday.
Yeah.
It's just another day.
Yeah. Well, it's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
That's not just anything.
I'm not super excited about gifts like I used to be when I was a kid.
Yeah, we don't get them as much when we're older. You've given me gifts since I've been an adult, and I appreciate them. They're amazing, amazing gifts. I appreciate.
And there's stuff you use. There's stuff that you need. Granted, one of them is really cool. I was so happy to be able to give you that gift. That gun.
That was really cool.
That gun. Yeah. That was more of a gift for me, to give it to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
When I was a kid,
totally
I did not care. I wanted gifts all the time. I'm like, I want this, and I want that. Oh, and give me that.
Yeah.
Now it's like someone says, what do you want for your birthday?
So you're 39.
39. Pushing 40. Officially pushing 40 now. So,
Well,
39
might
and a
as
quarter.
well just give that up because it's approaching.
Yeah.
If you get 365 more days, you're going to get there.
364.
Or is it? Is this a leap year?
I don't know. Is this a leap year?
No, because
I mean, I play hopscotch sometimes when I'm by myself.
February have 28 or 29 days?
I don't remember.
28.
You
So
know,
it's
I
not
can
a leap year.
check this out. I'm going to do this. 29 is a leap year, right?
Yeah, when February has 29 days.
They have this
it's a
thing on
leap
my
year.
phone. It's called a calendar. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Let's see, November, December, January, February.
I would say this, and on
It is a leap year.
This is
Next year is a leap year.
Next year's the leap year, right? So yeah, so you will. So because
Nice.
it's in February and your birthday is in August or July. What is this? July. Because your birthday's in July, then yes, you will have 365 more days.
Nice.
Boy, I lucked out because I didn't know that next year was a leap year.
Well, you still look very beautiful at 50, Marcia. I wouldn't have pegged you for 50. I know your husband's older than you. Wink, wink. But I think he's in his 50s, too. I think he's like 52 or 53. How old are you, Scott? If you're watching, how old are you? Oh, he just joined. Yeah, Scott, we're talking about you. How old are you? And happy anniversary, by the way. You know, I was watching one of these videos that we put out the other day, and I move this microphone around a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
All the time. But it's cool because it doesn't look like it should stay up in there, and when you just let it go, it just stays there.
Yeah.
This one here is like the oldest one we've got, so it's like all loose and well done. That one over there, that's like really stiff. I'm gonna have to loosen some of the screws up on that
Yeah.
because it's like.
Yeah, I think they do struggle with it.
Anyways, we're all over the place this morning. So they've got those videos now, those happy birthday videos that people put out. That's pretty cool.
And have you seen any devoted to you?
So far, there's been quite a few of them. Like, I don't know, I've got 10 of them so far. You know, I have a feeling that a lot of people wouldn't remember anybody's birthday if it wasn't for Facebook. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's been a couple times I've forgotten close families' birthdays and was reminded because of Facebook.
Hmm.
They're like, hey, it's such and such's birthday today. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Or you're going through your thing says, you know, such and such had birthday yesterday. Oh, no.
So my roommate's moving out more. He came and got his furniture, except for his dresser, a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
Today, I think tonight, this evening, he should be out all the way. Bill's preparing to head out across the country on foot.
So we'll pray for him.
Yes. Because he suffers so much when he's out.
Yeah. And him and people don't really get along very well.
Right. He's so optimistic about his relationships. He has a tendency, though, to repel people, and then he finds himself being more and more isolated, and then that's not healthy. So pray for him, because it's not good. And then once that stuff starts to invade your mind, you forget that there are people that love you, and the things that stand out are the struggles that you had with the people who love you, instead of the love and the forgiveness and the acceptance that they've shown you, because those things just invade your mind and oppress you, like we were talking. And then there is the whispering of the devils, because they know your need is to have fellowship with the believers, the people who love you and love God. And so when he's out there by himself, I think there are voices of the demons who would tell him, this person doesn't love you. How about this? You remember this? You remember this? And they know the facts. I think they are paying attention in some lives, in some ways. I don't know their numbers or how much attention they can give to one person. It's not for me to know anyway.
Ted says, drying paint. Yuck.
What?
He painted yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's what he's talking about, or if he's talking about something that we were talking about.
Maybe this is boring. That's a way of saying this.
Are you saying we're boring, Dad? Are you saying we're being boring?
It's like watching paint dry.
That can be exciting.
Pray for him, because it's just please keep praying for Bill. Keep him in your prayers.
He definitely needs it.
Yep. If he hasn't left, he may not.
So when do you think he's going to be leaving?
He hasn't said. He doesn't have a date yet, but he's definitely preparing. It's clear. It's very obvious that he's preparing, and it could just come on all sudden.
Like you could come home and boom, it's gone. He's gone.
He could have a difficulty or a struggle that would just suddenly, if he's physically prepared and has the things all put together and ready to just walk out the door, the right circumstances could compel him to do that, and then he'd be out. He'll be out there. And he suffers so much. When he came to me, he was suffering
from a delusion very badly. I can imagine, because I saw.
Yeah.
I saw it. And I couldn't imagine that.
It's pure torment, constant torment.
Yeah. Well, some people need to be medicated. They need to see.
Love has made a huge difference. Just love.
Hugging is a big deal.
Yeah.
You could feel it when you hug somebody, that if they need it, because they grab you and they hug you really hard.
Yeah.
And you can feel the stress in their bodies kind of dissipate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I believe
saying it and meaning it makes a big difference too, because Jesus is the word.
Yeah, and a lot of people.
And that word love is a big one.
Yeah, and a lot of people overuse it and use it when they don't really mean it. So then it turns out not to mean anything.
It takes it for granted.
Yeah.
We haven't done a single commercial.
No, because I think Tom Young yesterday might have brought my sheets with him, thinking they were his.
Oh.
He's actually the one that wrote most of those. So.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can talk about. Yeah, we can talk about stuff. Let's do it.
Are we switching over to you?
Yes. You ready?
When you're ready.
All right, Cube Zoom.
You are there.
Hi, everybody. Matt here. How you doing today? Good, I hope. But if you're not doing good, if you have a little bit of a sore back, perhaps, I don't know, achy kneecaps, because the weather has changed. Elbows might be hurting. Your shoulder might be hurting.
Or you crossed the wrong gangsta.
And he took you out with a baseball bat.
Okay, so
But there are many things on naturalsolutionsstore.bz that you can use to help you with that. One in particular being Super Hemp Balm. Super Hemp Balm is a salve. It's and you just put a little bit, just enough to see that your fingers have it on there, and you rub it at the place that you have pain on. It doesn't matter what kind of pain it is, and it will alleviate a majority of it, if not all of it. I didn't believe that at first because Jim's like, here, try this out. So we did. Jay tried it first.
Yep, sure did.
And then I tried it whenever my back was hurting so bad I couldn't hardly move. And 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, that feels good. It feels great. So go on to naturalsolutionstore.bz. Check it out. It's Super Hemp Balm, and it's super awesome stuff. Yeah. But anyways, you can find that at naturalsolutionstore.bz. Thanks a lot. Bye. All right, so still back. Am I still on yours?
Yeah, this is jamming up a little. So.
Oh yeah, sometimes it goes a little slow. There's a lot of processing power going on here.
Yeah.
I'm so used to this computer now, and it's so fast that whenever I'm on a regular computer, like the one I have that was replaced from whenever it got stolen when we were robbed, it's not near as fast as this is.
Yeah.
So I find myself going, come on, hurry up.
Yeah.
And, it's not its fault. It's doing what it does. I'm just impatient.
Right.
Which brings me to the next thing we can talk about today.
What's that?
Patience. Would you consider patience a virtue? And if so, it's a two-part question.
I think it's absolutely a virtue.
Is it a virtue that you feel that you have?
In some ways, and in other ways, I don't.
I think, being on the outside looking in, you have a lot of patience. Yeah, but you had me as a roommate for what, 4 years almost? 3 years?
A long time.
4 years? You have to have an incredible amount of patience to be my roommate. And really, I'm a goofball. I stay up late. I spill sugar on the floor. But I do, and this is something that I think all men should do. Even if you don't have a woman living in the house, if you lift the toilet seat up and you use the bathroom, it doesn't take very much to wipe the seat off, regardless of whether you've dropped anything on it at all. Just to make sure. We had a girl come over to the house one time, a friend of ours, and we were freaking out. We're like, oh, we need to...
Because the bathroom hadn't been cleaned in like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, and she says, you have the cleanest bathroom of any men's house I've ever been in. But that's, that's what it takes.
But anyways. It wasn't for our own sake. We had an experience. I had an experience opposite of that. Yeah. So I had a woman in my house who was pregnant and was sick. So there she is in the toilet. She never mentioned anything and didn't humiliate me. But when she went home, she said, "Oh, so nice to be home to throw up in a clean toilet." And I know she didn't mean to hurt my feelings, But how long ago was that? Years.
Was that on Facebook or was that?
I don't know. I'm not going to get into the details of it. But I realized what I was doing. Or I realized what I was neglecting to do and how important that it was to do that, because
I turned it into a game.
Care about that.
I turned it into a game. Flush the toilet and tear a piece of toilet paper off and see if you can get it wiped off before
and still flush the paper.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great game.
It is a great game, and we had an issue with my youngest son with that.
Yeah.
And he tried to play it off.
He got disciplined.
He did, and it wasn't physical discipline. It was a verbal lashing.
He was allowed to make a choice and told what the wrong choice was going to bring into his life.
Yeah.
And then he was told what the choice to do, what was expected of him, was going to bring. And that contrast was...
Yeah. It's like, oh...
And it was progressive. I think it was progressive in its severity, because I think at first he rebelled and didn't do it.
Yeah. And he said,
and he tried to...
I thought I did that.
Yeah. Tried
and
to
you're like, don't do that.
Yeah.
I remember like it was yesterday. Jay goes, no, stop. Don't do that. You know that you didn't wipe the seat. And then I gave him a pretty hard time about that. Every time he went to the bathroom, I made sure. I'm like, yeah, I didn't care who was with us. Did you wipe the seat off?
Yeah.
Yes. But that was the last time we had to talk to him about it.
Excellent. And I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
So
look at him now.
Yeah. And it's important to recognize a child's progress in their responding to your needs.
I think also.
And your expectations. When a child responds to your needs and expectations in ever so slight a way, they're trying to figure it out. And when you respond in kind and let them know, look, I understand how difficult it is to grow up and to make better choices and to change the way you do something.
Yeah.
Every day to do something different than you did the days before. I know how hard that is, and I see that you're doing it. And I'm proud of you, and I'm thank you for having the strength of character to make that change. And I think children need to know that so they can look forward to when we so offer the information to children without even realizing it. When a child is in a mindset of how can I do something better, they pick up on little things about every little thing we say and do about what would please us and what we value. And then they pour themselves into those things. And if they don't recognize that they've done well,
they give up on it.
Right. It's easy to forget.
That's like up at where I work. Numerous times I have said to people, and it's still the same for today. The position that I work in, we never really get pat on the back at all. Because the boss that I had believes, why should I congratulate you on doing your job?
I prefer encouragement than pat on the back.
But when I did get a pat on the back, that made my outlook 100% better.
Yeah.
Made me feel better about what I do. So I believe that positive reinforcement, pats on the back, encouragement when someone's doing right, even if it's just their job to do it right, just say, hey, I just want to let you know I like the way you work. You do your job well. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel a lot better.
I think letting somebody know how something they're doing has a positive effect, and that you see the contrast with their change in behavior, the way they did act to the way they do act now.
Mm-hmm.
When you recognize those things, you really just enrich a child's life in a way that you can't imagine.
Yeah, and he was appreciative because I told him numerous times. I was like, I'm so proud of how far you've come. So proud. And even his brother told him, yeah, I'm really proud of you, Jordan.
It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a completely different. Of course, after, I think whenever I was like 15, I changed by the time I was 15. Because I went through the hyperactive stage, and I would tell his mom, I was like, okay, he'll grow out of it. We pray he'll grow out of it because I grew out of it.
What the?
I wonder who's calling me from California. Should we answer it?
Sure. It's up to you.
No, I won't do that. I don't know. Might be a bill collector. I don't want people knowing my bill business.
Yeah, you don't want that.
But I'd be like, hello, you're on the air. That would probably throw him off a bit.
It might not.
Good morning. You're on the air. The Morning Drive with Man Jay. How you doing today? Oh, can I please talk to me? No, I don't know. They're not all Indian, but a lot of the people that call and try to sell you stuff are from another country.
Right.
And you got to be real careful with that. We're all over the place with subjects today. But yeah.
Memphis is not a healthy place. They need Jesus down here, Marsha says. We was going to Beale Street.
Beale
Street.
Yeah, Beale Street.
Which I'm not sure what that means.
Beale Street is a street in Memphis. It's kind of like, how our downtown is. It's real popular.
Some locals said it's not safe.
It's so sad here, she
said. It's so sad here.
Yeah, there's actually, I had a roommate that was from Memphis. And he talked about, I guess Beale Street was a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Somebody left me a voicemail. Huh. I'll listen to that afterwards. We got about 10 minutes left.
Right.
Now, we don't have any show coming up after this, but I had an idea. What would you think about doing like a half hour of music.
If we had a break,
That's what I'm talking about. We take a break, and then we come back and we do some music.
that
Have you
sounds
guys
great to me.
request some music, see how you guys, and
As long as it's worship music.
yeah.
I don't
okay.
want to hear Lynyrd Skynyrd. Or,
No. Wait, I don't play secular music anymore.
Yeah, that brings back. I understand a lot of people think it's okay. For me, it's not.
Yeah. Barney, I remember when
I
someone.
can't enjoy it with a friend who's a godly person and understands not to encourage those kinds
Right.
of behaviors. But for me to do it and then I start listening to it myself, it inspires me in evil ways.
It takes you back to
Quite
think
frankly.
about the evil times.
Yeah.
Like Guns N' Roses. I can't listen to Guns N' Roses anymore.
I had somebody point a gun at me. Give me back my bullets. Means something to me.
Yeah.
I wish somebody had. I had hoped at that moment somebody had taken them,
Right.
but they were there. I'm sure.
That's
And
probably
thank
not the
God
first
they
time you
didn't
had
shoot
Was
me.
that the first time you had somebody point a gun at you?
Only time.
Yeah, that was not a good time.
And he hated me. I had beaten him twice.
Marcia, if you want to do a show called Clean Sweep, talk to me. We'll get you set up. You can do it. I'm all for it. Plus, we want to get you on this show too. So, but yeah, I think music will be fun. We'll take a break,
Yeah.
and then we'll come back and
I'm
do
in.
some
I'm
praise
game.
and worship.
Let's love and worship the Lord because He loves us.
And so you guys, if you guys want some music, we'll do some music.
Yeah.
Barney's not here, so we won't have the drums set up. Although we did have a little request time last time Barney and I practiced up here, and it went over really well.
Did it?
Yeah. People were requesting all kinds of stuff that we don't know. We've had people come into a church we're playing at and say, you know any Ozark Mountain Daredevils?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You remember that day, don't you? I remember that guy. I'm like,
That same request happened more than once.
yeah, it did. Not just that person, but a lot of people request. Most of them are being funny.
You know, and I should be careful because when I make my weaknesses openly known on a platform like this where so many people see it, I believe that the demons at work in the world hear it and know. And when you equip them with exactly what they need to know about you and your weaknesses, and I did this recently in another way, boy, oh boy, they can come against you in a mighty, mighty, mighty way, and they can feed your need with every temptation that would corrupt its godly place.
Yeah.
God-given place, the thing that God would use to fill that need, to enrich your life and to make you more what God wants you to be. Those demons will work hard and fast.
Yeah, they will.
And I don't mean when we just, we can flippantly and take advantage of our expression of what we need and want. I mean when something's really weighing on you and you know that that's a need that you have that's not going away and it's persistent. Try not to mention that too openly because you're giving the enemy the tools that they need to come against you.
Well, the good thing is that we have a Savior that is
Yeah.
more powerful than the enemy.
Yep.
Way more
And we have a
powerful.
word of God that can give us wisdom.
I remember at one point, the first time I was able to actually say and believe it with all my heart that I didn't have to worry about the devil at that point. My something had happened, and my she's now deceased. My first wife, she was in the hospital, and her mom was trying to get a hold of me for some reason, and we had been separated for about 8 or 9 years at that point. And my mom said started crying. She was worried that the devil was gonna get me through that, was gonna attack me in that. And I was able to tell her, I'm not worried about the devil. My God is way bigger than the devil is. And I could actually, that was the first time I actually said it and was really truly believed it myself and had no doubt whatsoever. And it brought tears to my eyes because it's a peace that passes all understanding, and when you have that peace, it'll move you emotionally.
Yeah.
And it does. Marcia says, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Take every thought captive. Yes, they can. They seek to devour us and our weaknesses and is our weakness and emotion. So yeah, the enemy takes every chance he can. Him and his minions take every chance they can to do whatever they can to tear us apart.
And it's no coincidence.
No, it's not.
I recognize that the devil has worked against me and moved against me and tempted me in ways that he was silent in until I expressed the need that I had.
Yeah. And that's another thing. We were talking about that this morning. That's crazy.
And
how
it
that
wasn't
works.
just, oh, I need a car.
No.
Something that the car that you're using that is still working and you don't even think about it most of the time or all the time. You think, well, I need this or I need that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you express a real need, one that's persistent and weighing on you, be careful.
Yeah. And then because the enemy will send you all the wrong people.
Yes, and be equipped. Know in detail what it really is you're asking for so that God can give it to you exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really believe that, and I'm sorry. Maybe I'm expressing too much, but be very careful about it. Yeah.
Well, quit apologizing because, I think what you said, somebody needed to hear that. I mean, I know you weren't.
Praise the Lord, I believe it too. I agree.
Because God puts things in our mouths for us to say to people that need to hear it.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty serious thing we were talking about this morning, though we were kind of jokey about it at first. Well, I was. You know how I am with serious conversation. It is a very serious thing. The enemy, when he learns your weaknesses, will throw that weakness up in your face.
Yeah.
Exploitation, I think they call that.
Yeah. Well, I'm human, and sometimes my shield is down, and sometimes, and Marcia, thank you for those words, because really, I did realize that I was making mistakes that made me vulnerable to it. And so I started to really try to go to the Lord in the ways that I knew I needed to be safe from it.
Sorry about that. I meant for that to be quiet. The music. It's time for us to get out of here.
Oh, it's no big deal. It's okay.
We're going to be coming back here in just a few minutes to do some music. We should have everything. We're going to be working on getting the show in the game, getting the game set up, because due to people being sick and the Axe Fest coming up and stuff, or Axe Fest that was coming up at the time, that show has been put on hold for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So, but today we'll do about a half hour of some music, some praise and worship, because I think that's a very important part of our day is praise and worship.
Yes.
Even if it's at your house, by yourself, the Lord hears you.
Pray for Bill. Please pray for Bill.
Okay. So, that being said, it's time for us to get out of here. I'm not going to turn it on because it's going to blow everybody away here.
Yeah.
See how loud that is? So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the Morning Drive today. We'll be back here in just a few minutes, and then we'll also be back on tomorrow. Same time, same channel. So until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
And this has been The Morning Drive. Shed your blood for me on Calvary. Gave your life so I can live, so I can give myself to you. It's nothing short of a miracle. It's the way you. I think it was. I found that what we worry about that we don't think are good shows forevermore. You have closed the door. Somebody needed to hear that. I was all over the place today. I'm not showing it live.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna check YouTube. I did not stop streaming.
Ha! All right. He's still
Bye.
streaming. Bye, everybody. Sorry about that. That was funny.